start off our freshman presentation, I first want to cover who your counselor is. So if you will look on the left side in the blue shaded part, your student's counselor's last name determines who their counselor is. So if your counselor's last name starts with the letter B, Miss Kateris will be your child's counselor till they graduate. Next thing I want to point out is the counseling website. You can reach this by going to the Westwood main website, and you will be able to see all of our information. Everything is kind of located. So if you're wanting to see more about our Westwood School profile, where our senior class goes to, if you want to look at UT trending data from the past few years, when your child is older, you'll look at applying for college stuff, our choice sheet and signing up for courses. This grade level presentation is all listed here. If you want to get a sneak peek at future grades, you can go ahead and watch their information as well. If you ever need to look at SAT or ACT testing, this will be something you'll see more your late sophomore, junior year is when we'll start talking about it more. If you're a student athlete, eventually junior, senior year, you might be looking into NCAA. Senior year, you're going to be really looking at scholarship and financial aid. If you're wanting to start learning and exploring different jobs that you might be interested in or college majors, we have career assessments and explorations you can do. Summer programs and internships, we list them here. Again, this time of the year, it's pretty empty. It's something you'll see later on in the year. That's where they'll get listed. If you're wanting to learn about GPA and rank and how that's calculated and our policy in general, it's all here. Mental health resources are here. If your child is wanting to ever take a correspondence class over the summer for Texas Tech or UT High School, there's options here. New student website, all of this was sent at the beginning of this year to kind of give you a tour of the school, a map, and all of that. So this isn't meant for you to become an expert. This is for you to know this resource exists. So things to be looking forward to, or if you have a question, you know that it's here and you can easily access it. Okay, so I do want to cover just a little bit about rank and GPA, just so you have some basic understanding. So in regards to GPA, there is a 5.0 GPA, which students' rank is based off of. It is weighted. And so it only includes our core classes and our foreign languages. So this is my example. If a student makes a 100 in any on-level course, they can earn 5 points. So if they make a 100 in an on-level course, they get 5 points. If they make a 90, it's 4 points, an 80, 3 points, and so on. If a student takes an advanced level course, whether advanced, AP, IB, TAG, they can earn up to 6 points on that scale. So a 100 would earn them 6 points. 5 points would be a 90, and so on. So it gives them that weighted boost for that extra difficulty level. So it's still a 5.0 scale, but it's just you can go above perfect and earn up to 6 points. So I've given some different examples here, and I want you to see I've attached these documents here. So if you have a 5.0 GPA, and I get it's turned, if you download and look at it, it'll give you the scale. So if you have a 100, you get a 6 and an advanced level course and so on. So it does that for you. And then it teaches you how to calculate your GPA. And then, because I'm somebody who's visual, I attached a sample transcript where you can see where I hand calculated for you. So if you're wanting to start kind of looking at what your GPA might be, you can hand calculate your GPA using this as an instruction guide. You will also see eventually on your transcript, starting sophomore year, when your GPA is given to you, you will have a 4.0 GPA. This is unweighted. Every course counts, and they all get the same points. So you could be an AP Calculus and make a 100, and it would get you the same 4 points as 100 in PE. And there's a difference in the workload you would be carrying on, whether AP Calculus or PE. So it's not really an accurate representation of what you're doing for that class. Also, on the 4.0 scale, a 100 and a 90, two very different grades, get the same amount of points. So I made a little 4.0 handout here where you can see 100 through a 90 is a 4.0, an 89 through an 80 gets 3 points. So if you want to calculate your 4.0 GPA, it gives you the instructions. So that's the basics. And again, go through those documents. They will help you understand it and teach you how to calculate it yourself. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about is endorsement versus academy. Two different things, but they seem so similar. So an academy is one of our elective pathways that you take for 3 or 4 years. And if you do that, you earn a colored stole to wear at graduation. So a little bit of bling. Um, an endorsement is different. An academy is purely optional because, again, the only thing you're getting out of it is a colored stole. That's it. An endorsement is required for graduation. So your counselor is working behind the scenes, making sure the classes you are signing up for can count for an endorsement. By your student taking the 4 core classes all 4 years, which is required, you automatically get a multidisciplinary. As long as you get through Algebra 2, take a chemistry, a physics, or an IPC, you will get that one. So that's the one we're going to try to guide everybody onto. Then you might get another one because of electives you're taking. So if you take 4 art classes, just like that would give you an academy, it would also give you an arts and humanities endorsement. If you take 4 business classes, it could get you that business endorsement and a business academy. So some things can count as twice. So I've clicked in here for the academy, some handouts, because again, I'm a visual person. So these are our academies. So it tells you the first course, the second course, the third course, and the fourth course. And it tells you if you take all of these, you're going to get a sash for graduation. That's the academies. Versus endorsement, this is where it kind of makes it seem, because I told you some of the endorsements and academies can be the same. I like this document because it tells you, like, for example, STEM. If you complete these academic things, or you do the 4 years of comp sci or 4 years of engineering, you will have a STEM endorsement. But if you just do 5 math credits or 5 science credits, this will get you the endorsement. It's just not also going to get you the sash up here that the academies will get you. So this is a great tool to print out. Okay, next, I just want to cover STAR. Everybody has to take these 5-star tests, so your EOC test before you graduate high school. So everybody has to take the Algebra 1, which some of you might have taken in middle school if you accelerated in math, English 1, English 2, biology, and US history. So those 5 tests are graduation requirements. So your child will need to take and pass them. And if they don't pass them the first time, we will give multiple more attempts between summer, December testing. We give multiple more attempts to get your child to be able to pass that and offer some intervention along the way. Next, we're going to start talking about course selection for next year. We just want to get your brain going on classes you would sign up based off how you're doing this year. So just a quick reminder, the graduation requirements. This is just something to keep in the back of your head as you're thinking about what you might want to do your sophomore year. So again, everybody's got to do the 4 core every year. So you have to take an English next year, you have to take a math, a social studies, and a science. Other things you have to do before you graduate high school. Everybody's got to take 2 years of the same LOT. So languages other than English. So 2 sign languages, 2 Chinese, 2 German, 2 Spanish, etc. You have to take 2. You have to take 1 year of fine art. So again, you can take it in 9th grade, or you might wait till senior year. Up to you. You have to take 1 year of physical education and then 7 other courses of your choice to get you to the total of 27. So let's look at the English pathways. These are the most traditional. So right now, if you're sitting in English 1 and you feel it's a good challenge for you and you're liking where you're at, you would go to English 2 next year. And then you can kind of preview what it would look like your junior and senior year. If you're sitting in English 1 this year and you're feeling like I'm not getting challenged, I'm bored, and as the year goes on, you'll know this, you might want to jump up to Advanced English 2 next year. And then you have some different options for junior, senior year. If you're in advanced right now, you can choose to continue in advanced, or you could jump down to on level. Your choice. If you're either on the on level or advanced pathways, you can then go, as long as you pass your TSI, you could then also jump into our dual credit, our ACC program for junior, senior year. You don't need to make those choices now. In your sophomore year, your counselor will work with you and figure out what is the best option for you when picking your junior and senior year choices. Next, for math. On this pathway, you would kind of look at what class are you sitting in your 9th grade year, and then move over to the 10th grade column, and that would tell you this is the course you're taking for your 10th grade year. And again, you can preview what 11th and 12th grade would look like, but you're really going to only be focusing and really start contemplating what you want to take for your 10th grade year. So for example, if you're in geometry this year, you'd be going to Algebra 2. If you're going in the IB program, your plan is to continue all 4 years of IB. The IB math pathway is a little bit different. So if you would want to look at where you're at for 9th grade, and then to see if your IB math courses might come into play for 10th grade. It really is only going to do that if you're sitting in advanced pre-cal as a 9th grader. That would affect then you going into an IB math course in 10th grade. Social studies. These are our most common pathways. Again, these are all the common ones. Could there be special exceptions along the way? Yes, but this is where 99% of our students will fall. So if you're sitting in regular world geography, you might want to go into regular world history if you like that workload. Advanced world geography is preparing you to go into AP world history, or you might hear students call it WAP. AP human geography. So if you're in this IB prep class, but you're not planning on going to IB, so let's say you've taken this IB prep human geography class, which prepares you for the AP human geography test, but you're not wanting to continue into IB, you would go into AP world history as a 10th grader. If you're in the IB prep human geography studies and you do want to continue with IB, you're going to either choose IB prep US history or AP US history. So the big difference is the AP US history could potentially earn you college credit versus the IB prep one would not. And then you can kind of preview again what 11th and 12th grade would look like based off your choices. Science. So again, most common pathways. Everybody in 9th grade takes a version of biology or advanced biology. If you're in on-level bio, you could choose IPC, which is our integrated physics and chemistry, or you could go into chemistry. Or if regular biology by the end of the year has not been a challenge and your math is strong, you could go over to advanced chemistry. If you're in advanced biology, it's preparing you to go into our advanced chemistry program. Okay, LOTE. We have Spanish, German, French, American Sign Language, and Chinese. Remember, you must get level 1 and level 2 credit of the same language. Some of you might have come with 1 year of middle school credit, like at Grisham, where they teach, let's say, German 1A and German 1B. That would give you 1 German 1 credit, and then you would have to take level 2 with us. So some of you might already be finishing your language requirement this year as a freshman. We encourage you to go on to at least level 3 or maybe even 4 for college applications. Colleges like seeing that advanced study in a foreign language. So something to think about. Fine arts and PE. So you have to have 1 fine art credit while you're in high school, and you have to have 1 PE class while in high school. The things here I want to point out are band and dance. These 2 programs can kind of count for both. If you take a dance 1 class, it gives you a full year of fine art and a full year of PE. So that means you get 2 credits for 1 class. You're knocking out 2 graduation requirements for 1 class. That's a good bang for your buck. Band, you get a 2 full fine art credits every year. And then for marching season, the fall, you get half a P credit. So if you did band for 2 years, you would have not only 4 fine art credits, but you would have a full PE credit. So something to think about. Academies and electives. So we offer so many different areas of academy courses you can choose from. If you take more than what's required, I also like to point out, because sometimes students will get confused, like, I took a math course like algebra in middle school. So when I graduate, I'm going to have 5 math credits. Technically, that 5th math credit would count into your 7 elective total. So anything extra you earn in any of the other sections. So let's say you go on to Spanish 3, but you only needed 1 and 2 for graduation. Spanish 3 would roll over into your 7 elective options. So nothing is wasted. Everything kind of just goes into the big total overall. So kind of to go over pathways, just like with the core classes, depending on what your elective pathway is, you would look at what class you're sitting in 9th grade, and then you would pick the 10th grade column. If, let's say, as a freshman, you did not take digital media, but you've decided I really want to take animation, you can take this in 10th grade, take this in 11th, and move on to 12th grade. You just wouldn't get to the final year option, but that's fine. You would still get 3 years of an education in animation. So you are more than welcome, 9th and 10th grade, to start a pathway. So we have lots of options, and I'm trying to go through each page so you can kind of see where 9th grade, what's your 10th grade option, or if you need to delay by a year. If you want to start Art 1 in 10th grade, that's fine. Again, you would get 3 years done before you graduated, so not a problem. This is the time to try things out and figure out what you like versus what you don't like before you get to college and have to start paying to make your changes. So this is a good time to try. Okay, so the Round Rock ISD course catalog is a great tool and resource, but also is the Westwood Virtual Choice Sheet. So as an 8th grade student, you only got to look at the 8th grade choice sheet. Now that you're a current Westwood High School student, you will get to look at the Westwood High School sheet. It is much larger, so it has every English you would take before you graduate, every social studies, every science. So these are all of our options. There's a really good key that kind of lets you know if there's a grade requirement, how much credit you earn. It goes into math, languages other than English. All our fine arts come after that. So you will see there are lots, and it's all listed in those pathways. So just like how I had it in the PowerPoint, Journalism 1 was the 9th grade course. 10th grade is your Journalism 1. Journalism 2 is your junior and senior. But the nice thing about this is if you click on any class, it gives you a course description. It tells you what the homework is like, the grading structure. It gives you a really in-depth. I like this better than going to the Round Rock ISD course catalog, which is listed here, because it's actually tailored to what it's like at Westwood. And those are written by Westwood teachers who teach the course. So they're going to know better than anybody. This is my big warning. I always say make sure your schedule is balanced. What I say is take your 4 hardest classes, and if you had them all on one day, could you handle it? If it's too much, then that's too much. Next, I want to talk about resume building. So this is really the kind of the bigger talk of college applications, which is not till senior year. But at Westwood, we like to break it down to give you tasks starting in 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. So that when you become a senior, we've already stair-stepped a lot of this. So it's not this overwhelming start from scratch as a senior. You've already been working on it. So this is really step 1. It's building a resume. You only get to include things from 9th grade on, so nothing from middle school, just your 9th grade. So here's a sample. Download it because then the formatting is correct, and I want to show you exactly what it looks like. I've already done the work for you because formatting is half the problem. What you would do is you can download this and type over it and make it your own. So your contact information. Start it as a 9th grader. So you don't, and then you'll just add on to it every year. So that way as a senior, you're not starting from scratch. You'll put all the courses you're taking and you'll add those in every year. All the extracurricular activities. So what are you involved in? And again, I made this up, so I didn't have very much to write about. But you could write a lot more than this. And this is going to be the details, the meat of your college application. Leadership. So over the next 4 years, push yourself to maybe become an officer in one of your activities. You don't need to be an officer in 10 clubs, but maybe you can push yourself in one. So if something presents itself, you might want to think about it. You're going to want to keep up with any awards or honors you're given. What do you do during your summers? Colleges want to know you're keeping busy. Volunteer work that you do from freshman year on. If you have any jobs, whether they're like a real job where you're going and you're filling out a W-2 to you're helping out neighbors or family friends, babysitting, whatever. All of that would be on here. So you might be thinking like, oh no, I'm behind. I haven't started. No, this is why we're having this talk here. So this is why your 9th grade year, you can start getting some of those activities filled under each section as the year goes on. And it would be expected that maybe only in your upper years of high school, that's where you'll get more awards. That's where you'll get more leadership opportunities. So this is just to get your mind in the mindset to start getting involved and taking an active role, because freshman year, it's when you need to start. Okay, just a few final reminders. Don't procrastinate. It is such an easy habit to get into. And between your schoolwork here at Westwood, college stuff, everything, you want to start early. And that's kind of like why I'm telling you, you start your resume now. You start these things. You start thinking about the classes you want to take next year. Be proactive. Ninth grade does count. So many people think, I can just blow off ninth grade year and then I'll just try the next 3 years. No, this year is important as well. Colleges look at all 4 years of high school. Make sure you're checking your grades in Hack or Schoology. You're staying on top of things. There's no excuse on the last day of the 9 weeks to be like, oh, I'm missing grades. No, you need to be checking it daily. You should know. And email your teachers immediately if you're like, I know I turned that in, or go see them before school. Make those connections. You need to be checking your email multiple times every day. Myself, your teachers, we're emailing you opportunities, and a lot of things have deadlines or due dates. And you might miss something that would be really interesting to you or beneficial to you if you're not checking your student email multiple times. And this is just a good habit to get into because you're going to have to do this in college or at a job or any other aspect of your life. Email is key. You have to be connected to it. And then take advantage of what your teachers offer you. Ask for help, go to tutorials, flex in if you need extra one-on-one. I also say do your homework the day it's assigned. And that way, if you have any trouble that night, you have 2 mornings to get in to get to help for help. So take advantage of what you're being given. I hope this helped kind of explain and get you prepared for your one-on-one conference. Thanks so much.